Hi everyone. There's a lot of questions and little time, so I will start by going down the list and hopefully we can get through as many of them, if not all of them. Will there be a place in the app to see how much of the total supply is still available for mining? Yes, of course. There will be on Pi Block Explorer initially and maybe in the app later. Actually, there is already a place in the Pi Block Explorer called the circulating supply. And from that, you can deduct everything else based on the updated white paper. Will the locked up Pi be included in the circulating supply or not? Yes, based on our research so far, it seems that all other in other blockchains, any locked up balance is included in the circulating supply. Will the lockups have a countdown timer that pioneers can refer to in order to see how much time the lockup will be in effect for? Yes, short answer is yes. There will be a list of all prior lockups and when they expire, and in that list you will be able to also see how the calculation, how they affect the calculation of the total lockup booster. Suppose I am KYC'd and created a wallet 3 days back, but I forgot the private key and can't create a new wallet due to the 1 week limit. What if my Pi balance is transferred to that recently created wallet where I don't remember the private key? I guess the answer to this question is that because we'll have this confirmation, so the person will just simply wait, rather than, if they really lost the key, they have to wait for a week before they push the button to say, I want to transfer to mainnet now. I want to start transferring to mainnet now. If they lose the key to their wallet after they pressed the button, well, that's similar to losing it at any time in mainnet. Yeah, there will be a process for changing your wallet for future transfers.
And I want to make it clear. I mean, that's the nature of blockchain. Every good things comes with its own negatives. The fact that you have full control, non-custodial, is that there is no other way, for, like in the case of loss of keys. And what we can do, of course, is trying to design systems that try to prevent that. But the fact that it's a blockchain, it comes with those, its benefits and its disadvantages. And a lot of people lost their Bitcoin because of they lost their private keys. What can they do? They can't do anything.
Unfortunate. Will there be a notification that will let us know in advance about the upcoming balance transfer so that pioneers can alter lock settings before the transfer is initiated and finalized in the mainnet wallet? Yeah, so we're thinking that there will be a button to initiate the migration, as I mentioned earlier. So after this button is pressed, then there will be continuous transfers that will be happening automatically based on the current lockup setting. So the lockup setting can be changed as many times as you want before you push that button. And once you push that button, the first transfer transfers will be happening whenever they're happening. And then if you're changing the lockup settings, the new transfers will be getting whatever the current lockup setting is. So there will be no surprise in that respect. If now, in terms of notifications when you receive, probably there will be notification. There's currently notifications to people on the Pi browser when you receive when you receive Pi. So in the same way, you will receive Pi and you will receive a notification that says X amount of Pi arrived in your wallet. Go check it out. And yeah, there will be a notification after at the moment of transfer. Is the system geared up to only have one wallet per pioneer, or will we be able to define and use multiple wallets inside of the app. So the initial preference we have is to just have one for simplicity, but in the future we can have multiple if we want. In fact, the design, I don't know if you remember, historically we initially had a different layout for passphrases and keys. The reason one of the reasons we changed to this new system that uses passphrases is because with the same passphrase you can have multiple wallets, and you don't need to have multiple private keys. You can have multiple Pi wallets. You can even have Bitcoin wallets if you want. So essentially you can have whatever addresses you want with the same passphrase, and that's why we find this new system that we created a lot more powerful. So technically it is possible. Product wise, let's get everyone to understand the system with just one wallet for now, and I'm sure in the years to come there will be reasons for extending it and expanding it, and all sorts of connectivities, and for security, for privacy, whatever reasons, people will be able to potentially create more. But I don't want to promise that right now. It will all be a part of a product design. Will there be a place in the app to see how many KYC users we have in the community? Yeah, the answer is maybe. The wallets actually are publicly viewable on the blockchain anyways. So at least the strict subset of people who've KYC'd and have already migrated to mainnet will be publicly accessible on the blockchain. So you can just count how many wallets they're there. But we may come up with an even nicer UI, maybe somewhere in the app or on the main page that just displays the count. Maybe we'll have a page that displays the count of KYC pioneers, the count of nodes, the count of people in with different things, the amount of Pi locked, like different stuff. But worst case scenario, just look at the blockchain and it's there. Okay, when and how will the KYC validator receive Pi rewards? The short answer is when we know how much these rewards need to be. But let me explain and clarify. So at the moment, we're asking pioneers to pay 1 Pi as the cost to their KYC process. Now, this 1 Pi needs to cover several validation steps that were taken by multiple people. So not just one validator. It's not enough that one validator says, yes, this is correct. It has to be at least several. There's an algorithm that decides based on how much they agree with each other and who says who agrees and the previous history of its validator. It depends. It will have either few or more validate or more consensus votes essentially necessary. So the steps may include things like verify that this ID is a valid ID of that specific country, or verify that this picture matches the picture on the ID, or verify or if the data was not, if our AI algorithm was not able to extract automatically the data from the ID, then we need to verify that this data actually matches the validator. A human validator will have to basically do that extraction. And we also may have to involve those validators with the potential name appeals that are happening, that pioneers have applied for. So that we can have a human basically review every appeal. Now, we need to let this process run and find what is the average amount of work that happens for every one person who KYCs. So we have to let at least several thousand people finish KYCing first to get an accurate estimate of that number, so that then we can assign a value to how much Pi each one of these steps will be attributing to the validator. So for the time being, all that Pi that is accumulated goes into a pool, and once we have the accurate estimate of the amount of Pi that needs to go into each piece of work, we will start distributing it out.
And the format of, I mean, first of all, to split the pieces of validation is the design is, I think, probably previously communicated, is to have this design protecting the privacy of people, because it is splitting the work, not just one validator validate the whole set of data of one, KYC, one pioneer who wants to go to KYC. The splitting into pieces limited the exposure to a specific validator, the subset of one pioneer's information. For example, the person who is validating image inside the document versus the selfie will only see an image, will not see even the framework or the document looks. But for people who are seeing the document looks, we are trying to cover all the private information and also the image, so that the different validators are exposed to only subset of one pioneer's information to some extent protect the privacy of the pioneer. In addition to that, why do we have a pool and then distribute? Why can't we design like, oh, my pie just goes to the people who validate mine? The reason is because all KYC, all pioneers going through KYC that require work from the validators, not necessarily being successfully pass the KYC. Means that if they don't pass the KYC, they will never have the pie in the first place to pay for the validation work done by the crowd workers. However, the work done by the validators will actually, even on the people who fail the KYC, that is still work done and still worth compensating. So in that case, that's why the pool will be contributed by anyone who successfully passed KYC, being able to have the pie they actually they have, and then being able to pay for the service. And then this pool is distributing to work by all validators on whether or not the KYC case goes through or not, because this work is the same. Whether the result of the specific pioneer's KYC shouldn't affect whether the validator's work should be compensated or not. So that's why this is the design of the pool, the fundamental reason.
There's some people saying that there's some technical difficulties some countries or pioneers are having, and so I'm just sending a quick message to ask them to organize it along with the rest of the core team, organize it in a good place so that we can improve any technical difficulties people are having and fix. What's the next question? When will the
KYC validators be selected? Is there a date when this will start? What will the requirements for validators? How long will the training last? Who will be responsible for this? The KYC are built in automatic evaluation and testing and training system for the crowd workers or validators. This is a typical crowdsourcing, crowd working application and design in computer science. Okay, it will first have a simple tutorial at the beginning and later testing periods for testing validations. All testing validations done by not verified type of validators will not be counted in the KYC results. On the high level, their validation result will be cross-validated by other validators who have already earned the trustworthy status. Mods will be invited to be the validators first to seed the trustworthiness of validators. Mega mods will be assigned to trustworthy status first. And then as mods validation results in the training period comes and matches mega mods results based on the algorithm, they will also earn the trustworthy validator status. But we don't count the whatever work result of the training period of the validators.
What is preventing the deployment of weekly pilot tests? So
I don't even know what the pilot test means.
The 50 pioneers per country that we do sometimes, I think they're referring to.
Is it referred to KYC? It didn't even say what pilot it is.
Yeah, it's in the category of KYC over here. So it's
Okay.
probably a follow-up question by someone.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the test or the batches will be even faster or more frequent and even larger as as more iterations already occur.
Yeah. Next one. Has it been announced to pioneers already whether the KYC human validator will be rewarded for their work? In other words, can we talk about it in the chats? Is it known how this will be done yet?
Yes,
Yes.
I basically we just explained.
Yeah.
Yes, validators will be paid eventually, but and also the mechanism, it takes some time to understand how much each piece of subset of the piece of the work is actually going to be rewarded, and excluding also the contribution of failed KYC will be covered by the design of the pool.
Will minors who do not meet the AIDS criteria will be able to KYC once they do?
Once they do means they reach the age.
Yeah, when they are old enough.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if they are old enough, they already qualifies. But even for minors, as we communicated before, we once the master KYC is ongoing, we will hope to design the parent consent that is required for minor KYC. Okay.
Yeah. So this way they can KYC along with their parents, and the parents can consent for the kid to KYC. When the node bonus calculation may be available to moderators for preview, the node bonus moderator calculator. So as soon as possible, it's kind of a concurrent process, but as you know, our main focus now is to start moving people to mainnet. So we will not be, if this is not out yet, then we will not hold moving people to mainnet just because this aspect of the equation is not there yet. Besides, not being there yet it's affecting everyone equally at the moment, and so we can start transferring people, and then when this is done well, then it will come in all shortly. We're working on all of these things. Okay. FFF is still planned for this year. Yay! FFF, yes. Triple F. First Friday of February. Moderator Appreciation Day. FFF. Thanks. It's also like chatter happening while this. We have only a few minutes left, so let's speed up the answering of the few final questions.
Okay.
When can we expect the first few barter shopping dApps to be live on Pi Network? During the enclosed period, we want to start migrating both people and Pi applications to mainnet. So yes, during this time. It depends on how fast they will migrate, but yes. Will there be a list of core team approved marketplaces for pioneers to reference? We will support the high level ideas. They will support any marketplace that would prove that they are dedicated, they're actually working on it and actively, and they provide reliable, scalable service. So yes. Will there be a mechanism for pioneers to report marketplace scams? Okay, so there's two things here. Yes, there will be a mechanism for people to report applications that are scams. Like, for example, a marketplace pretends to be a marketplace, but it's running a scam behind it. So people will report it, and then fake marketplaces will be removed from the Pi browser. At least we can control that on the Pi browser. We can control what they do on the internet. But scams within a certain marketplace or any other app are supposed to be handled directly by that specific marketplace or app.
Exactly.
So, and now if you say that if a specific marketplace is constantly not doing a good job in detecting this or protecting pioneers, well, they may at least in the beginning, get a warning from us, and there may be other consequences too. But our goal is overall to work along with the developers to create the future, not to like penalizing them. So
and also, for example, you got like on eBay, there are potentially it's a typical classic marketplace, and then potentially people get scammed by someone.
Seller.
The
seller reputation.
Seller reputation is the thing that is it's kind of for users to be wise and choose. It's just like when you visit website, the user needs to be put on your careful eyes to look at whether this is a scam. You don't blame the browser of Chrome, and you don't go to Apple and tell Apple, hey, I got scammed because of inside this eBay, I got this merchant scammed me.
Yeah. One important improvement that Pi can offer over eBay and other places is that people can potentially have a global reputation on Pi.
Exactly. So what we can do is designing the social and system-wise ways to try to prevent it happening, but it's still on the individual user being able to decipher which one is more scam, just like when people visiting websites.
Okay, there is some questions about nodes by Anonymous.
It's already 10 o'clock, but
okay, I'll go really quickly. Maybe the high level idea for these questions is that the focus of this period is to get the nodes up to speed as well, so that all the nodes are ready to migrate to the mainnet now. So when Open Network starts the first day, these nodes will be able to essentially take the blockchain and participate in the network. So you will see during this period of enclosed mainnet a lot of improvements in the node application itself. How many nodes are currently active? Well, it's a lot. There's more than 70,000 potential nodes active each day. I mean, the 70,000 is what I checked for yesterday, more than that. But we haven't approved the new nodes in a long time. During the enclosed mainnet, we'll approve a lot more nodes and possibly even allow anyone who wants to be a node to automatically, or like no approval anymore, automatically become. But then all the nodes that have higher history, more reputation, they will obviously be programmatically, other nodes will trust them more. Let's see, what else can I see quickly? Other questions like node operators to automatically join the chats. Similar, we want to, first thing for the chats is to split them out as a separate app, and then it will be a continuous addition of users. People are asking what's about the same IP. If they're sharing the same IP, they can do it, but currently only one of them can be supernode. No other downsides.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Well, very nice having this meeting with you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for your hard work, supporting the community, and helping the core team.